What's up guys? Today, of course, is a very busy day. We've had a whole bunch of new information, updates and changes to Destiny 2, and this video is going to continue that. We've got patch notes for update 2.1, the Season 5 update, so essentially this is all of the changes between Forsaken and Season 5, and this does affect a whole lot of stuff in the game. So it affects supers, sandbox tuning in general, we're seeing some changes to certain weapons, including the Ikelos shotgun, adjustments to particular exotics, and this would include the Ursa Furiosa, a whole bunch of adjustments to perks, Sandbox, adjustments to game modes, Mayhem is returning to the game, we've got changes to the Valor and Glory systems, new weapons and inventory available at various vendors, item and economy stuff as always, so there is a lot to speak about in this video. But firstly, I did cover all of the new info that's been revealed about the Black Armory DLC and the annual pass, new exotics, weapons, activities, so if you guys want to keep up to date with all of the latest news, you can check out the video link in the description below or any of the recent videos on my channel. But now let's jump into these patch notes for Season 5. So we'll start out in the order that Bungie deliver it with the Sandbox stuff. So for supers, for Chaos Reach, they fixed an issue in which having multiple Chaos Reach beams active at the same time caused their visual effects to merge together, an issue that allows Chaos Reach beams to penetrate friendly banner shields, a problem where Chaos Reach did not damage taken blights, and changes to Chaos Reach cancellation will come with Destiny 2 update 2.1.1 scheduled for the 4th of December, so that's when Black Armory launches, and that also gives us confirmation that there will be an additional update that we'll get on the day that Black Armory launches, so obviously more stuff to download, and more adjustments and changes in the game. But for Nova Warp, they fixed an issue in which Nova Warp would sometimes fail to detonate on release, a problem where Sentinel shields and banner shields would lose energy when guarding near friendly detonations. They've retuned Spectral Blade Super to increase the reliability of melee attacks in PvP, and to bolster the effectiveness of the Super stealth capabilities. And they had spoke about some of those changes before. There is a decreased camera shake and screen flash on a hit and an attempt to alleviate feelings of motion sickness when using the Burning Maul Super. And for Thunder Crash, they adjusted the camera during flight sequence in an attempt to alleviate feelings of motion sickness when they're using the Thunder Crash Super. So some pretty interesting changes right there. But now we have some adjustments to exotic armor pieces. So they fixed a problem where the Ophidian aspect was not increasing the melee range on various Warlock charge melees, and that includes Igniting Touch, Ball Lightning, Entropic Pull, Devour, and Atomic Breach. They did fix an issue where Lunafaction boots and the buff would only last for 15 seconds inside of Well of Radiance, so Lunafaction should now be fixed, and an issue where the Ursa Furiosa had some inconsistencies between PvE and PvP, and they say that the gains for super energy from guarding will be more consistent between PvE and PvP content, so that does sound like some kind of nerf potentially. If you've used them, you will notice that you do get a lot of energy back in PvP when you're shot, but much less in PvE content, so it'll be interesting to see exactly how that change will pan out in the game. Now though, they speak about weapons for Warden's Law. They replaced the perks on the Warden's Law that did not function properly with the weapons archetype, so Triple Tap has been replaced with Feeding Frenzy. That's pretty interesting, and it sounds like Feeding Frenzy may come into the game as a general bonus now for legendaries. Fourth Time's the Charm has been replaced with Zen Moment, and they say Warden's Law now has bullet contrails, and they've updated the intrinsic perk text on Warden's Law to distinguish it from an aggressive burst sidearm. This is a pretty interesting change though. They've increased the scout rifle damage on high impact scouts by 1.87%, and they say previously it was possible to, at very high resilience levels, survive 3 headshots from a high impact scout, and this change will ensure that players at any resilience level will be defeated by 3 headshots. They also say a fix that will return high impact scouts to 150 RPM is planned for the update that we get on the 4th of December. For shotguns though, they talk about rapid fire frame. This on shotguns will now increase the reload of all shotgun shells when empty instead of just on the first shell, and they also have adjusted the trench barrel perk so it now deactivates after 3 shots on the weapon. Previously it was simply a timed bonus, and they have updated the description to reflect that behavior, so that is a mild nerf to trench barrel right there. It's not absolutely huge, but it's definitely a noticeable adjustment. Probably they're trying to encourage the use of other shotguns instead. I believe Trench Barrel before actually lasted a few seconds as opposed to being tied to how many shots you fire out of the weapon. It's definitely been something that a lot of people have been speaking about. I personally didn't have that much of an issue with Ikelos shotgun the way it was, but I did see a lot of comments, you know, on Reddit and things like that where people were talking about the shotgun and the fact that in PvE content there is very little incentive to actually use anything other than the Ikelos shotgun. So it's obvious what Bungie are trying to do here. Of course, we don't know what other things we might see inside of the Black Armory expansion, but let me know your thoughts down below about that adjustment to the Ikelos shotgun. For submachine guns, they've increased the range. For machine guns in general, they've slightly increased accuracy on machine guns. Pretty interesting, considering we're just getting some inside of Black Armory. For exotic weapons, Prometheus Lens has seen a damage increase of 10%. For the Hardlight, they fixed an issue where Hardlight could overpenetrate an enemy's banner shield. And Memento Mori on the Ace of Spades has been reduced to 5 bullets, but can now be refreshed on reload without having to get rid of the bonus damage bullets. So a minor adjustment right there to Ace of Spades. Let me know your thoughts on these exotic changes, as well as the weapon changes in general going into Season 5. Now though, Bungie break down a bunch of general changes and fixes. So they fixed the mantle animation for Queenbreaker, an issue where some particle effects were appearing in first person view when using 1,000 voices, an issue where bows would sometimes become invisible when equipped. They polished the blade barrage animation for when a player is holding a bow, and you can see in general there are a bunch of other changes, mostly minor fixes and adjustments, but some of those could affect your favorite pieces of gear. Now they speak about game modes, and there's going to be some stuff coming into the game. So Mayhem will return as a 6v6 rotating playlist with scoring support for new Forsaken Supers. Lockdown and Showdown will return as rotating playlists and have been added to private matches. Scorched and Team Scorched have been added to private matches. New Shax lines spread between Rumble, Lockdown, Showdown, and a few special medals. There are some other smaller adjustments right there, but they did add 2 new gold tier medals inside of PvP. We'll have to wait and see exactly what those are. Iron Banner now awards unique Iron Banner themed medals upon unique audio cues, and Iron Banner uses unique match complete banners. Valor and Glory are now subdivided into 3 sub-ranks similar to Gambit. Valor and Glory have not subdivided in the Legend rank, and Valor does not require players to win at Legend. On top of this, Shax has a new rotation of items available for direct purchase. Players must earn Valor to collect these items. A new set of seasonal items has been added to Shax's inventory. A new Pinnacle Weapon quest has been added to Shax's inventory, and previous Pinnacle Weapon quests continue to be available at Shax. Now for Gambit, they've adjusted Infamy rank rewards to better match Valor and Glory. Subdivision rank ups now always award Gambit legendary gear. For bounties and quests, Infamy rank up points rewards from all Gambit bounties have been doubled. Many bounties have had their objectives retuned to take less time and be easier to complete. They've added a new daily bounty for killing Primeval Envoys, and fixed an issue where the Malfeasance quest could not be progressed in Crucible modes. They have also adjusted Primeval mechanics, some of the catch-up mechanics. We've spoken about those in previous videos, but just to reiterate, catch-up mechanics have been adjusted to ensure that the leading team retains more of an advantage. The trailing team will now receive a maximum of only 1 bonus stack of Primeval Slayer buff, and previously they received up to 3 stacks depending on how far behind the trailing team was. The time before the bonus stacks kicks in has been increased to 32 seconds, up from 22 seconds, and Primevals will hard ping less often to reduce stun lock against highly coordinated teams. So there are definitely some noticeable changes right there to those Primeval mechanics. And Bungie do reiterate, you must play 1 Gambit match before redeeming any bounties. Players who turn in the bounties after the Season of the Forge, but before playing a Gambit match, will not correctly receive the points to their Infamy rank from these bounties. And they're further addressing error codes that could occur during matchmaking, leading to potential quitter penalties. In general though, Last Wish raid bounties are now available to anyone who has access to the Last Wish raid, and a new season of progression is available with new perks to pursue on the clan banner. Now that they talk about items and economy, they fixed the problem where the Rainmaker consumable didn't provide showers of glimmer from defeated enemies. An issue where Public Defender Ghost perk wasn't properly applying to public events on Mars, the Tangled Shore, or the Dreaming City. An issue where Nightfall unique rewards were dropping at the rate intended for non-Forsaken owners. And a problem where not picking up Prime Engrams could allow players to earn more than the Prime Achievement buff allows. So essentially they fixed the Prime Engram bug right there. They have added missing Year 2 Gunsmith weapons to collections, an issue where the Braytech Scout Rifle was not counting towards collections for some players, and unearned Season 4 gear is now hidden. And that will be stuff that is locked to Season 4 that you can no longer obtain. There are some PC adjustments, so they added a new Take a Screenshot keybind, and it defaults to the print screen key. They added new friend management commands. You can see all of these on the screen right there, so some new adjustments for PC, which is nice. For the UI, they've adjusted the tooltips to fix an issue where perks or other information was cut off from the character screen, an issue where the rank up banner for Crucible and Gambit was not being displayed properly at certain resolutions, and an issue where players were unable to return to orbit while results screen was up at the end of an activity, so that's that annoying bug where we had to wait for ages. Now though, for some miscellaneous adjustments, so they've improved activity and destination load times on consoles. They're actively investigating load times for loading the player inventory screen and switching between UI tabs and starting up the game. It fixed an issue where brightness was not adjusting properly for some players, and we can see a bunch of other adjustments which don't affect in-game too much right there, but they are fixes and changes in this update nonetheless. So guys, that was an info-packed video. Definitely a very info-packed day in general right now. Like I said, I have got videos covering all of the new reveals for Black Armory and the annual pass, new exotics, weapons, gear, and all that good stuff. So you can check out my recent videos if you want to keep up to date with all of it. And of course, I will keep you posted with news as we go throughout the week. But I hope you have found this video useful. If you have, a like below is very much appreciated. Be sure to hit subscribe if you want to see a lot more D2 content. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on anything. But for now, guys, I appreciate you tuning in as always, and I will catch you very soon.